Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Crossing in the Woods. Between the south, we got Luciano fighting here for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 2nd SS Panzerdivision Das Reich. Luciano is ranked 21 with the Wehrmacht. In the north, we got here Rip Chester, which I believe is a reference to, I think, Linkin Park's Lead Singer Dying, Suicide or something like that. Anyways, here he's actually more commonly known as Overlord, fighting here for the United States of America. Freedom and democracy, taking on the role here of the 2nd Infantry Division, tasked with holding the line as the Krauts unleash their vicious assault. Overlord here overall, I think, ranked in like the top 20s, 30s with most factions. I can't quite remember who he was with the USF though. I know he is like top 20, specifically with the Wehrmacht, he's like ranked 19. So again, both players here, very high skilled, highly ranked. So again, they certainly know their ins and outs to a large degree. We got the Blitzkrieg Mobile Defense Lightning Wall there for Luciano with triple infantry versus Overlords here, heavy cavalry, armor, and mechanized with grenades and infantry, specifically the ones for cooldown and cheaper grenades, so that can sort of allow him more in the long run, just toss more grenades in general. We got a bigger push from the eastern side with Luciano leading to M42 grenades, but at the same time this is also where Overlord is leading his main effort, so there'll be big engagement here. M42 grenades versus Riesens holding up behind heavy cavalry. Promise they're not going to last long without support, and there you go. Overlord in this case just pulls back. In fact, he might just better just try to sort of buy time here while he then tries to push westward to secure the territory. Of course, that is seemingly where Luciano's pushing ahead there. Second gun is got the run. We also got a very early mortar here for Overlord, I think, in response to the MB42 in the play here. It could indicate that Overlord is actually willing to fight for the eastern half of the map here if he's willing to commit for a mortar this early. We've got Raven flanking up. The Yawa squad, though, didn't quite get into full cover, at least in position probably, leaving them a bit of a suppressed state. But there you go, getting up behind the Rauchenschlepper Ost there. MB42 taking a lot of damage, but still pushing it back there. Down to just 2 men. Mortar arriving here. Riesens need to push up as well to support here, I think. Screening against the Pioneers for wiring off the central road bridge there, rather than falling back, knowing where the MB42 is heading. There's no point in wasting time there. Good tactical decision making there by Overlord. But while they're down in the centre by the Pioneers, we got the mortar moving up, and of course can then just smoke the machine. But there you go, Luciano there, not the player to just get into the bat with it. Again, displaying that high rank, he quickly puts his forward. It's low in health, it is also low in numbers, but still, overall an active flexible machine is a lot better than one where opponent actually knows where it is all the time. Rather than taking damage, mortar moving up there. Will he smoke? Will he just bombard? Looks like he's just auto-fire for the time being. He could have smoked and then rushed in with the rifle because up close, the rifle would enjoy the definite advantage versus the Grenadiers and the MG42 as long, of course, they're not in front of it. But there you go. Heavy fire they're in. Again, good shifting on the M42. Again, it is getting increasingly risky there for Luciano, and there's certainly a high likelihood, a single mortar hit could wipe it or a good flank from any sort of unit there. So, bit risky, but as you can see, he's constantly shifting out. They're bursting a bit, they're then falling back, bursting a bit, falling a bit back, or shifting his position about there. So he's very confident here with his machine gun handling, and that also certainly shows. Again, he's a player that knows how to get the most out of the MG42, and that is pretty good. So he's actually getting the fuel point. Of course, the question: how much longer can he hold the situation? In the centre of Riesens being pushed back by Grenadiers. We've got 3 Grenadier squads there for Luciano. In the west, we've got Pioneers securing here. Basically, in this case, he's establishing kind of a belt to ensure his opponent can't easily just rush for the fuel point. So that's a sneaky way of doing it, actually, there by Luciano. That is a sneaky way. Here, Raven versus Grenadiers. And go getting to the house. Grenadiers, there's still small chance of losing, but the Raven, I think, should overall be a bit of a problematic situation since they're not in a house. Right here, MB42 though. Here, now we can see Luciano might be pushing a bit too far there again. He's right up next to the mortar. There's still Raven about there, but there you go. Luciano, in this case, realizes he's pushed it too far and retreats, but pretty close, pretty close. Medic bunker up here in Luciano's base, keeping up tempo and momentum as his opponent. Grenadiers there flanking the mortar. And here they're going to continue up as the Riflemen, though they seem to be losing out in this case, though. Not getting any kills on the Riflemen, as the Riflemen are just slowly bleeding out the Germans. Now moving up the second rifle squad here. If it then delays too long, you could actually risk losing the Grenadiers, which would certainly hurt Luciano. And there you go. Luciano just decides that it's not worth it and retreats the Grenadiers. So I think that was the tactically right decision. There's not much to be gained by anyway, but just holding up longer. His opponent was still going to grab the fuel point. The only difference really at this stage was just how much was Luciano willing to lose. Luciano following up with the sniper to counter his opponent's infantry play, bleed him out, pressure him. In the meanwhile, Luciano has gone here for the lieutenant. Quick for up below 50 calibers. Again, he's sort of focusing on his opponent's infantry play, and he's going to try and sort of hit back hard, using the lieutenant and a 50 caliber to that way pressure him. So we'll have to see how that works out for Overlord here. He could also follow up with some grenades. That would certainly be quite potent. Would also give him more weight of just dealing with the MG42, but just having more sources of smoke. Plus, you could then rush it through the smoke with grenades and clear it out. Always sniper out here for Luciano and the 2nd SS Panzerdivision Das Reich. Gunners sitting shifted about. Lieutenant wing up right from there. We got, of course, the mortar hanging back here, ready to support with smoke or bombs there if necessary. 5th cover there being pulled forwards by Overlord's crew, and they're going the west fuel pump being secured as well. It's going to go for both fuel pumps there against Luciano. Rather than holding up the lone health, might be just retreat them. I mean, he sort of, you know, risks. I mean, he can sort of stall his opponent a bit, but they are such in a poor condition. There's a high likelihood of losing the retreat if Luciano pushes hard enough. But there you go, attacking into these. The MB42 is firing there against shift there, constantly shifting by Luciano. Good work. Catches this. I've been managing Overlord off guard. I mean, I was caught off guard, but there again, I just thought it was still in there. But again, Luciano just doesn't allow it to stay in 1 point for any prolonged period of time. So again, very good play there with the machine gun by Luciano. I mean, you might pop it in and out there from time to time, but again, it just never is static. Meaning, again, it is Overlord's the constant roaming element of surprise for Overlord, making it a lot harder, or for Luciano, making it a lot harder for Overlord to predict where it is, and of course, allowing him to catch more off guard. So that's pretty good. And there you go. Rather than there, pushed back by the MB42 here in the west. We've got fighting there. Rearson versus Grenadiers. That should be a win for the Grenadiers. So it's going to take him some time. There you go, going to be a trouble. Lieutenant there, rifle firing in, 5th cover supporting as well, and there you go, retreat. In this case, Luciano does not risk it. There you go, Rearson push back here from the western field point. We got an ambulance over there for Overlord to help reinforce and heal his troops. Specifically just mostly healing, I imagine. Not a bad decision there at all, not a bad decision. Sniper on the move there for Luciano. Tenor holding up there. I mean, his guys are going to do stuff things down here. I mean, he just benefits from setting up, say, a fighting position around here that way can sort of cover the point much more efficiently without having to tie up infantry squads or 50 cal machine gun crews for it. So I think that should be an idea there for Overlord to consider. Ambulance there arriving to reinforce heal troops. Certainly a lot of them in need of that. We got weapon racks on the way there for Overlord. The ARs would certainly help out a lot here, but certainly give them an edge versus the Grenadiers in many cases. Now hanging about the east. Grenadiers pushing for the CoH point, aiming for a bit more disruptive play there. And we got a half track for Luciano right now. Some mechanized infantry tactics by the looks of it, since he does not actually have the munitions to upgrade to the flamethrower version. So that's actually a pretty interesting idea. Definitely not bad. I mean, he does have infantry to work with it. Could then go for Panzer Grenadiers. CoH point there, cut, and then quick retreat. There you go, very close to having the 251. How he cancels it? Pack 40, no, 222 instead. Either Luciano just misclicked in the first place and didn't pay attention, or there was sort of a quick change in mind there by him. That's feeling like he needs to sort of worry about an M20, some other kind of vehicle, and thusly wants to get the 222 to counter that. It's a bit hard to say that what Luciano is thinking, but either way, there we go, Lieutenant White again. We sort of see again here the penalty of just sort of sticking a unit about there again, in particular in that kind of condition. Sure, it can sort of stall, but you risk losing the unit. And in that case, you stall it anyways with that kind of unit in a poor condition, maybe for like some seconds. So is that worth wiping a unit? I don't think so. So I don't know, that didn't seem like the best choice there by Overlord. Again, fighting position would have been much better. Again, much harder for infantry to clear out. Could have stalled him much longer. Could also set up for a good flanking opportunity as then Luciano brings up some kind of heavy weapon, which point he then sweeps in from the west and gets behind. But we got the 2-2 out here for Luciano. And the 2nd SS aggressively pursuing the enemy infantry. Tearing into with auto cannon crash machine with their going to tank rifle grenade. 2-2 could be a bit of trouble here. There we go. Damage engine. 5th cover the opening up as well. Heavy damage there. And the 2-2 goes down in a matter of seconds. Big loss there for Luciano. Could lose the Grenadiers into the 5th cover maybe. Oh, close here. But looks like Heinz there makes it out alive. Pretty close shave there for Luciano. Losing both the Grenadiers and the 2-2 would have been a rather heavy blow. Following up with that Pack 40 there, the Panzer Abwehrkanone 40. And while the name of course Pack 40 indicates in its sort of service, at least production for around 40, it really didn't actually see, I think, activity on the front line like before 1942. That's a little fun fact there. That's probably the thought there was when it's really accepted into service, but just getting into production, apparently just ran into some issues. Growing points in the west, which could have been likely because they didn't expect to need it, you know. In 1914, just took them ages to get around to doing it. I mean, the Germans did, in many cases, severely underestimate their opponents' anti-tank or armor capabilities, so and that's only a potential thought there. And as rather moving ahead, they're getting snapped. They're going to do something what they can. Multiplying incoming fire there as well, and there goes Sniper on the run. Nice hit than the Grenadiers, pushed back as well, and he up rifling versus the Grenadiers with light machine gun up close. Much harder to say there, but there you go. The Grenadiers do prevail. The LMG-42 sees them through. Anti-aircraft up to there for Overlord to deal with his opponent's infantry. Also any further light vehicles. We got mines there spotted by the looks of it. Yes, indeed. Telemines from Luciano. Good work. He's clearly worried about the enemy armor threat and vehicle threat, and he's only taking it seriously. 40 has also arrived here for the fatherland. Now switching towards the west. Looks like he's realising this could be a bit of a bad battleground long term. Might want to extend into the west there and secure this part of the map. That would be, I think, pretty good choice there for Luciano. Tech up for Luciano. Going to try and push it for medium armor versus Overlord. Which I think can be rushing ahead. I mean, if he'd not gone for the anti-aircraft half-tech, he would probably should have had some success pushing for his German tank. But he's gone for armor, so there's a high likelihood he might just try and rely on M10 Collins and bulldozer Shermans. Of course, not all players do, but there's certainly some who, you know, well, most players do. There's some that actually take up and sort of go for a mix of things, but those are much rarer. Though, if you are going to go for this, most players would go for the captain, and so far, Overlord, he's really only gone for the lieutenant, so in some ways he will be lacking a bit in elements there as his opponent. There's there, watching as the house is just completely splintering apart under the withering fire of the anti-aircraft half-track. My God, these wooden walls! They do nothing! Run away! Rückzug! Here, Vieslands versus Pioneers. We've got bazookas up there for the Vieslands. In the centre, they've got gunners moving up there. You got a single rifle squad here upgraded with BARs as well for Overlord. Though, by the looks of it. Oh, double BARs. Okay, that's good. Back forward being hauled to the front line. Up here we got Rifle versus Grenadiers. Their mortar is for their main tank to do something. We got the anti-aircraft deck ultimating up. They're catching the Grenadiers there. Quickly threatening to annihilate them in a matter of seconds. We've got the pack forward there to support the front line. Torpin in there, go, lands a good hit there. But the Grenadiers almost get taken out there by a bazooka hit. Almost. Rather close there, rather close. That's only something there. Overlord needs to be careful with the round of his opponent. I mean, the pack 40s, you know, could threaten to quickly destroy them if he's not careful. Back here, the tech up is done, but Luciano does. Well, he's got the resource set up. He can't then quickly fill up with, say, an Ostwind. Actually, probably could now I think about it. There's the Stug as well, but there's not really much of a need. He's reasonably far ahead there, so he could go for the Ostwind. He could go for the Panzer IV here versus his opponent. If he's a conservative player, though, he will always go for the Panzer IV. Also, if he's just somewhat insecure of the situation, he will also go for the Panzer IV because, again, I mean, if he sort of misjudges his opponent, he gets out any kind of armor, then he has an Ostwind in trouble as he gets to the Panzer IV. You know, even then it turns out to be an immediate armor threat, he can still, you know, push reasonably well versus infantry. But there you go, we got assault engineers out there for Overlord. You rarely see those. Well, actually, you're increasingly seeing American armor players actually using the assault engineers, mostly just to lay down demo charges, because most Axis players still don't particularly expect demo charges from an American player, so that's rather, I think, causing a bit of an increase there from American players towards using them. Of course, as soon as it catches on, the purpose will be defeated, right? Because then players will expect the demo charges. I imagine also the call-in premiums there, they'll be hitting sometime in fall, will also have an effect there, obviously. Just that'll make it just harder to rely just solely on M10s. Since at that point they'll probably end up costing, in some ways, more than a Panzer IV. At which point they stop being cost effective unless you have the tech to support. Telemines there. Luciano's only taking no chances there. He's keen on just preparing for any enemy armor here though. Though he's also quickly just cancel it in case he gets spotted. Still got the one there. Overall good work there. Just moves on to lay down the mines elsewhere. Demo charge there from Overlord. Ready to blow apart any unfortunate Germans caught within its radius. So a lot of telemines there for Luciano. A lot of telemines. He's clearly again taking it seriously, and again it might be just the presence of armor combat as a possibility that's causing him to do it. Because the opponent begins hitting with a lot of M10s, you kind of want some chances to slow it down in that regard. Telemines will very much remove one of the M10's big advantages, which is mobility. Panther 4 Pioneers grabbing the fuel point there in the west. Overlord now focusing very hard on the west, but then ignoring the east, which could then actually easily make gains. We've got these versus 50 caliber. Soldiers pushing forwards. No flamethrowers though to note here for Chester's assault engineers. Well, Chester but Overlord. Their grease guns sweeping away any crowds in front of them. That's almost done in the west. We got right pushing against the Pioneers there, ready to flash them up. Ganesh will also be in trouble. We've got the WBR's rifleman here. This assault vessel retreating. So overall big assault here from Overlord, which for the most part is actually catching Luciano off guard. Up here we got the Gunners being pushed back with the anti-aircraft half-attack, suffering heavy losses, but there you go. A chance for a counter-attack here by Luciano, and the second SS of Panther 4 has arrived. Noting though that Luciano is 16 minutes into the game, or the 17, he's yet to choose a doctrine there. He's yet to choose a doctrine, seems not inclined towards anything in particular. Rather than they're taking losses. But increasingly it seems like he's going to go for the lightning water jet after the axe to the tiger. And some other elements there. 50 caliber carrying the center approach. So he gets flanked by the Panther 4. Noting by the way, of course, that Luciano sniper still alive. He's got 14 kills, trying to bled out Overlord there, but and there go Panther 4 straight in front of the echelons, exposing its side armor and re-armor to the bazookas. As the Panther 4 continues ahead, of course, one big issue right now for Overlord is he's only got the bazookas to hold it. And there you go, Panther 4 gets it half-track, and there you go. M10 tank destroyer out here for Overlord and the 2nd Infantry Division. Pot in the pursuit there. In the west we got Luciano, they're launching a bigger gun assault here against Overlord's western gains. We got demo charge going down there as well. Sneaky, sneaky. And now they're caught out in the by the M10, but the M10 can't really do anything. Pioneers moving, flamethrower, then Pioneers moving away with a flamethrower. And there you go, managed the demo charge there on the western field point. Could catch and wipe out some of Luciano's infantry, which would certainly, be quite expensive for him. So right now, Overlord in a much better map control situation there versus Luciano, but Luciano's not giving up, and he's also just laying down more mines. Overlord could perhaps consider secondary resistance squad to get more mines to on just in case it would catch up some more of the mines that Luciano's laid down. Of course, the question is Overlord even remotely aware of the extent to which Luciano's mined the map with the telemine so far? Because he's laid down quite a few there. 3, which is right, reasonably fit. There you go, unit got wiped out here by the demo charge for this in the field point. 50 couple of resistance flanking up there, going to try and hit the other side. There you go, going to just immediately suppress this. The 50 caliber roars away. And there you go, Pack 40 caught. M10 also good to go again. If it really was even remotely dispersed. There you go, second M10 out here for Overlord. Quickly filling up a lot of tank resources so that would try and gain an edge versus opponent's armor. Taking no chances there, he just aims for armor superiority. There's 2 M10s. So that way make it very difficult for Luciano to use his Panzer 4. He would definitely, I think, benefit from going for a Stug, so that way that's some more firepower. The Stug is one of the more cost-efficient ways of just finding the M10s. There we go, Gunners being swamped, set upon by the M10s, threatening to be crushed there within their foxholes. And in the east we got the Panzer 4 dealing with yesterday with the bazookas though. The entire facade collapses. But the Panzer 4 still builds up some distance to avoid the bazookas. All bazooka hits there. M10 there go hits a telemine, but sadly in this case Luciano does not have the means with which to pursue and destroy. Second 50 caliber all the way there for Overlord. Someone's just got rifle grenade there and decent hit, but nothing spectacular there ultimately there. So now they continue to bleed out the armies. 22 kills there. 50 caliber wiped. Bit expensive there. And I'm not entirely what's going on. There seems like some elements of the squad got caught up. You have to be careful how you position your ambulance, by the way, there. If you position it the incorrect way, it can catch up some units. Hey guys, I want to go join the battlefield. Can I please go? No, we're not going to move this ambulance ever. There you go. Rifleman hit the sniper fire, Panzer IV fire. Rifleman still waiting for the rest of the squad so they can actually grab the 50 caliber. And there we go. Mardu's back in American control. We got the bazooka team moving up to deal with the Panther 4 anti machine gun now being rocked by the Panther 4 again. And there we go, wiped. So it took him ages just to get it and then lose it. That's got to feel a bit rough there for Overlord. Look, would benefit maybe from a fuel cache and then taking up to then get out something else to work with the M10 tank destroyers. Interesting note, the Panther 4's actually been allowed to be on its own there in the east for quite some time, noting by saying M10. But there you go, straight into a telemine. Panther 4 then along maybe the Pack 4 there completely demolish it then in a single volley. Good work there, and again just overall nice work by Luciano just mining up some ups. I mean, two of the mines so far actually gone off, and one didn't actually take out the M10. The second one definitely played a role. And there you go, another M10 out there for Overlord. Panther 4 dealing with Rifleman here in the west. Overall, the Overlord does actually hold most of the map. He could upgrade more of his riflemen, by the way. He's actually got a lot of munitions there, mostly a lot of unupgraded riflemen. Luciano, by the way, finally going for Doctrine. It is Lightning War. Ultimately, it makes a lot of sense. Though he won't be getting any Tiger tanks anytime soon, not unless you say build some fuel caches, I think. He does have a lot of manpower, so he could consider maybe investing in at least one. Rather than a pretty bad position with the Grenadiers and the Panther 4, there's a small likelihood they're getting a wipe, and there you go, Rifleman retreat, just in the nick of time, mortar laying down fire there to try and stall the German counterattack across the river. And M10 we're catching the Panther 4 in the east. 10 shoots at some Grenadiers, completely missing the Panther 4. There you go, the second M10, that's a good hit, then the Panzerkampfwagen Fierce shot bounces. There you go, M10s and then do not bounce over the Panther 4's armor. There you go, with the Panther 4 low on health, the M10s go forward. Grenadiers Panther fighting might not be enough, not enough, and there you go. The Panther 4 is cooked up like a Christmas goose. As the M10s blasted to oblivion. Sniper executed there. Second Panther 4 moving, but at the same time, one Panther 4 versus two M10s is very, I think, overly optimistic there. But Luciano actually hopes to pull that off. I mean, the two M10s will be able to take down the Panther 4 very fast. Even if he's got the anti-tanker moving up, there's a high likelihood things will not work out well there, I think, for him. And there you go, M10 bombarding here. We got artillery strike pulled in as well. Almost got the Panther 4 there, but looks like it's going to get away with a sliver of health. Rather lucky there for Luciano. And the second is just the two M10s there pulling back for now. And few people in the west being harassed and secured there by Luciano's Pioniere. Gute Arbeit, Leute. Fun fact, while the M10 in the game actually has a high turret rotation, the actual war, I believe, was hand cranked, thus resulting in a really poor turret rotation. So that's a little fun fact about the M10 tank destroyer there. Similarly, the Panther 4 last model, the Model J, also had a hand cranked turret, so that also had a pretty slow turret rotation. In the case of the Panther 4, though, that was largely due to a lack of resources, so they couldn't actually afford to just stick a generator in for that turret, so they had to be hand cranked. So that's a little fun side note there. In the west, Pioneers been pushed back there by a small force from Overlord. And grenades now for Overlord. Certainly could have those out sooner. Maybe use some molten smoke more though. That would also, I think, been beneficial there for Overlord. I think that would have been very beneficial. Interesting to note that Overlord hasn't actually upgraded him as men anymore. I mean, there's only one squad that has any one time actually gotten any BARs. I mean, he's not upgraded any of the other riflemen with it, so in that regard, in most cases, Luciano's grenadiers will actually have the advantage since we've got more light machine guns overall. We also got panzer grenadiers on the way there for Luciano. Good work. Good Arbeit. Guys, they're being suppressed here by the wreckage of the M10. Not having the most fun time there for sure. Gun is advancing there, taking up position in a small shed there with a light machine gun. Alright, Dieter, just aim for the heads, but it's the heads I can only see anyways. Got both them tents there hanging about, waiting for something to happen, something Kraut related. And there you go, Panzer moving ahead. 6 kills, veterans who won. Rushing ahead there, far ahead in fact, with no real support there. That's pretty risky by Luciano there. Both of them tents either failed to penetrate or just failed to hit in the first place. That's kind of impressive. In the center we've got flamethrower engineers there. There's grenadiers suppressing and dealing with them. There's good support with the 50 cal by the looks of it. Grenadiers to find them light machine guns. We've got mortar firing down the center. Troop ceiling reinforcing. Oh, no suppressing those sectors on the way, but oh well. Panzer moving ahead again. M10s they're waiting for repairs, I imagine. And down in the far western corner here we got Panzer Grenadier overwhelming the rear echelons, who very quickly decide that discretion is the better part of valor. Nothing further in terms of armor. Luciano there floating quite a few resources. He's clearly aiming for the Tiger. I mean, with that much manpower, could easily, I think, afford fuel cache to sort of speed up the Tiger's acquisition process just a bit. No reason to be floating that much there. And there you go, M10's going to here with the Panther down to half field, closing in eventually too. Should be able to get it, but there's a high likelihood of losing. Oh, these M10s, that'd be pretty heavy there for Overlord. Pack 4 blitz, and there you go, shot bounced. Pack 4 there, turning back with the M10. Perhaps a well placed rear hit, and there you go. Got the Panther 4, got it. Quite a loss there for Luciano, lost his veteran Panther crew. Quite a loss. Need to get that M10 out of there before it gets caught up by anything and destroyed. Would be a shame there for Overlord. And we got another M10 again. No real tech up, not even a captain here for Overlord. Just the lieutenant straight into like heavy M10 play. Definitely doesn't feel like the most efficient style to me. It's not how most players would play Armor Company for sure. Even the ones who just solely rely on it for their armor, they would still at least go on for the captain. And they're bombarding. The M10, I believe, first saw service in 1942-43 Italy. Before that, they had to rely on, say, self-propelled anti-tank guns mounted on half tracks, or even before that, anti-tank guns mounted on jeeps. In that regard, the Americans were rather slow in the tank destroyer department. And there you go, we got the Tiger out here for Luciano. Adding a pin machine in there for some added anti-infantry, never bad. Rifling down to fire, need to retreat. Could have smoked that position and rushed it with a grenade. And up here we can see the Luciano pressing the car point, trying to get behind his opponent and sort of wipe out some retreating units. And in the far west, this is a large American force, 50 cal assault units and the rear echelons, M10s. Not entirely sure what they're doing, either way. 50 cal machine gun there, oh not 50 cal, but MP42 almost done there for the Tiger tank. Rolling out there. And near the 50 cal, but almost brought up by the rifle grenade of the Grenadiers retreats, leaving only behind the rear, since then contend with a Tiger tank. My god, that's a Tiger! Oh god, everybody's dead. Except you, Joe. But there you go, rushing it nonetheless. Bazooka fire, M10 fire, and the other M10 moving in as well there. Tiger close to half health, but there you go, landing some good hits. Pack 40s out to Carl. He's got double pack 40s, which, you know what, most players go for if they try to just play out for a Tiger. Of course, there's also another advantage whereas an opponent who's spamming a lot of M10s, because the M10s can't do anything to anti-tank guns. So if you like have a pair of them, you can use to do a lot of them, particularly if the opponent is aggressive and doesn't support the M10s very well. But again, the M10s were generally sort of meant for support, not, you know, during frontline duty. Though that did actually happen in the war and actually caused the American High Command to get really ticked off. In fact, they got so absolutely upset over them using the tank destroyers as tanks that they retracted about half of all tank destroyers from tank destroyer battalions and replaced them with anti-tank guns, because that'll sure show them. So that's a little fun side note there. And of course, met by the time of the Battle of the Bulge, the Americans were quite unprepared when the Germans launched their big assault. But there you go, M10 flanking up behind the Tiger, shoots, bounces, there you go, Pack 40 covering. Ooh, target weak point, heat line there being fired, and there we go, lands a good hit. That M10 is gonna go down. And blown to bits, they're quite a loss for Overlord. In the centre of Gryphon pushing through it, but there is Pentagon's in the way, plus a light machine gun team covering, and further down, a heavy machine gun team. Basically meaning that Rifle Sport is met with a storm of bullets. Tiger tank going in there to deal with any flanking interlopers. There you go, the damn team Pack 4, the recruit, though the men are rather low on health. They got the Grenadiers there. Certainly the much better continues pushing it. There goes, going to be able to wipe the Pack 4. Grenade off the Grenadiers! Oh! Very close, they're very close. Tiger there under fire. More Grenadiers moving in there. Tiger almost knocked out here, but he doesn't have anything to pursue with, so Overlord rather doing a lot there, but ultimately not quite able to just get enough force behind us to really shift through. He also got the Panzer Grenadiers. Luciano going for more Pioneers that repairs Tigers. That's definitely, I think, the right response. And there you go, Overlord going for another M10 tank destroyer. And of course, Telemines there as well. So if he tries to ride through here, could actually run some issues. No fresh Telemines in the centre though. He should definitely consider some more there. Oh wait, and there you go. He's going to move straight into the one Telemine there, left for Luciano. Once more proving that mines are really good to have. So good job there by Luciano. That's the third M10 that ran into trouble thanks to, you know, a Telemine. In this case, again, didn't get destroyed because nothing else there, but it pretty much prevented him from rushing the M10 and potentially knocking out there. So that Telemine really paid itself off. So again, really good mining there by Luciano, really good mining. His machine gun handling is, of course, getting a bit more standard because now he has a lot more to manage at the same time. In the early game, of course, good fluid machine gun handling is pretty good. And even if you can sort of continue to keep it up in the late game, that is also really good. But again, it becomes more challenging as the game progresses. And of course, you have more elements to manage and sort of more advanced and complex strategies and tactics to execute. Big rifle push here. Overlord sending in a flood of olive green against Luciano's forces, prompting retreat there from the Grenadiers. But there you go, shifting on the M40. In this case, he might actually shifted too far ahead there, actually within range, and there you go, you can see that he realises he actually made a mistake, and quick retreats. Tiger falling back there, close to veterans 1. Setting up there to fight its 88mm gun, and there you go, lands a good hit. Carl and Bob are dead. More men there joining the great big democracy in the sky. Tiger continues to just land down murderous hits with its 88mm gun. They'll be up right from the second list. There goes suppressive fire from the 5th cover there, puts a halt to that. Luciano here could consider a Stu to support his target there versus the enemy tank. The source as Overlord at this point seems to be completely locked into the pattern of just calling in M10s, which really means strategically he's very limited in options, but also might cause him to sort of have a harder time getting back into things. Of course, loses all of his M10s, which he has now done. Tiger there, almost good to go. There we go. Fun fact, the Tiger also had a pretty damn slow turret rotation. The King Tiger had a really fast one, but the Tiger 1 had really slow turret rotation. And in fact had to rely on the fact they could actually turn 180 degrees in like seconds. Fun fact there. Tiger moving westwards there, unsupported for the most part, less good there. More telemines from Luciano. Definitely won't hurt. And there you go, rather than pursued it by the Tiger. That will hurt. There we go. Almost got the entire unit there. Is being swept with the roughness to push up for the centre. We got the M10 down here the western side. Hot in pursuit of some crap tanks to blow up. Though on its own versus Tiger, it's not really that good. And we can see the western flank is being covered here by several anti-tankers while pushing up for the centre. They got no attempt to smoke. In fact, it's too late now. Tiger already in the scene and just already murdering away. So what will Overlord do to this? Will he just keep calling in M10s, hoping that eventually it'll somehow magically solve his problems, or will there be a sort of bigger change in direction from Overlord? Tiger rolling back, Pioneers going there for the western fuel. In the centre they got Kennedy securing the points of the light machine guns, Rears under fire, and a bit of pushing back here up east. 5th Cavalry there waiting for any prey to walk into its line of sight, and there you go. Overlord just keeps pressing that M10 button. Soldiers being pushed back by the Tiger. Rears moving up to somehow try and block the Tiger tank with a couple of bazookas. Tiger tank then engaged by the 10s, and there you go. Mines they're laid down. Again, just more mining, more flank coverage there. Though it seems like that one got set off by a mortar. There you go, off flanking. We got a explosion down there before two. Good work, pushing forward to the front from the Tiger. A bit risky. Pioneers bringing in mortar fire raining down there. Big assault here from Overlord. Actually using the smoke screen. Imagine actually use smoke screen sooner, even just for the mortar. I think that, you know, maybe executes a much better assault here versus Luciano at times. When he actually does pop smoke, he's a lot harder to stop here. For Luciano, Pioneers lost, almost got the before the second grenade, and oh god, eventually the M40, M10 moving in. They need to get the Pack 40 here. Tiger tank though down to less than half health. They almost got the Pack 40. Huge blow here to Luciano. He's actually in a very tight spot. There's all of a sudden Overlord there again. Pulls it all together for one big assault there, wiping out a lot of Luciano's equipment. He does successfully pushing back here with the Tiger. And there's a second Pack 40 covering here, but that was some big losses there. If you can grab that M42, that's even bigger there for Overlord. So big assault there by Overlord with a big impact. Luciano still has his Tiger, which is actually very close to C2, so there's still a chance here for him to turn around, but still that was a pretty big beating. Of course, the question is, why again did Overlord not just use smoke soon? I mean, they're probably even better off there than now, but oh well. Panther 4 there for Luciano. I think Stooks would be more helpful, but again, Panther 4 though can work. It's not a bad choice either. But I do think in this situation the Stook would be the best choice, personally. Need to grab victory points and fuel points here though. Here, Overlord. So going up there against the Grenadiers, light machine gun fire there, M10's running in. There we go. Rolling in aggressively. In the centre, Grenadiers they're being dispatched by the riflemen. Overlord's infantry focus seem to be there. If we'd like to try and hit here, you know, flank the machine gun, cleared out, grab all the eastern territories their way from Luciano. I think that'd be a pretty good choice. Mines here, demo charge could also be a pretty good choice there for Overlord. And of course, fighting positions. Really would like to see some fighting positions. Certainly, again, Luciano could benefit from just, you know, laying down a machine gun bunker to cover the points there. Oh well. Mine spotted, but ignored. It looks like he might even be paying attention due to the way the screen there covers it most of the time. The target almost apparently got the reason moving ahead. Pretty risky that kind of assault there. Basically 2 for the Tiger. Panther 4 taking damage. M10's moving in, but we've still got the Pack 40 here. Unit wiped out. Overlord here bleeding a bit out in the face of Luciano. Going for the Pack 40 to ensure it does not fall back into the hands of Luciano. Almost got it, but didn't quite. We can see here that Luciano's making a quick run for it, realising he needs it back under his control to help counter the M10s, as the Pack 40s are again a reasonably good counter. Quick mortar hit there on Luciano's Grenadiers. Top ceiling reinforcing here. 266 versus 132. Push for the centre there with no real anti-tank support there for Overlord. He's going for the captain now. Interesting decision to do so now, but I'm guessing he wants anti-tank guns to help counter opponents' arm. Maybe consider a pack out as well. Then it's almost run out. A bit close there for Luciano. Luciano, by the way, could also continue more pressure on the right flank and trying to get behind Overlord. You're going for here, so I think some of the support comes that way, but no sign of that. But there you go, Panzer breaching the centre, then trying to get behind the rifleman here. In the east, resistance flanking the 50 cover, quick turn back deal with that. And there you go, rifle squads run off. Mortar there could be seized here by Luciano and turn against Overlord. That definitely is bad news for Overlord. Panzer IV versus resistance centre running away, scurrying away like that. More army is a possibility for Luciano. Another Panzer IV at this stage would serve quite nicely alongside the Tiger. And there you go, the captain arrives, so Overlord quickly adding the bazooka, and I imagine there'll be quickly an anti-tank gun following up there. Could even use the captain to supervise it out a lot faster. A lot faster. BAR's being handed out there.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
No sign of the bazookas there yet. No sign. I mean, not bazookas, anti-tank guns. I mean, he's closely going to be able to call in too if he wants. 100 points left here. Target there. 30 kills for Germany. There you go. Punishing rush to the M10s. Quickly scurried off. Heading east finally here with some assault engineers. Quick diversion maybe even. Grabbing the victory point there. One towards the centre. He's going to need a smoke screen he wants to actually remotely work out. Turns falling back. There you go, Tiger Move catching the rifle out in the open. Firing from the tree line. Ooh, almost got a full wipe there, but there you go. We got the M10 counter in. The Tiger shoots and one penetrate. R2 stage round to tip out ignition. There you go, Pack 40 firing here from the other end of the tree line, pushing back the M10s there. In the east, we got 50 cover there, so they're soldiers quickly holding up in the centre. Things are not working out much better there for Overlord either. Would seem like his efforts have been too scattered and not with his sufficient support at this time. And we got the BAR drop there, left behind in the muck. And there we go, Luciano going for another Panzer IV. They so far only bothered with Panzer IVs from a support armour corps. Nothing more, nothing less. And there you go, M10 there, tank gun there also ready. There you go, swift H-route round there on the Panzer IV, taking down to less than half health. Second shot, we're missing. We still got the target there as well. M10's going to need some repairs. There we go. Shot bounced though. That was a bit lucky there for Luciano. 42 points left. Second shot misses entirely. Hits us at the ground right in front of the Tiger as it pulls back. 38 points left for Overlord. And another Panzer IV there for Luciano, and the 2nd SS Panzer Division Das Reich. Bit quiet. Overall, seems like Luciano's got this, unless Overlord pulls off something really clever out of nowhere. S-Mines lay down to cover the centre of their point as well, making half of just push through. He's actually grenaded because he got no minesweepers nearby, and there you go. Straight into it, taking losses there already as the mines going off. Panzer IV, machine guns there, finally intense going down, opening up for counter-attack by the Tiger through the tree line there. Pack 40 also coming from the other end of it. Over at this point, Overlord might consider an attack from another angle, that way trying to catch off Luciano, but instead just keeps attacking the same point. Smoke's going down there from the rifle at this point, already too late. 21 points left. We've got the M10 going up for the centre here. Pack 4 ready to deal with that. Anti-tank gun moving in. Grenadiers, Tiger, Hink versus the 2 M10 tank destroyers. There you go. Betty 2 and 1 the tank destroyers. But another anti-tank gun covering here as well. Good in-depth defence. And there you go. Almost got the fight there. M10 down, 1 to go. Rifle in the centre being absolutely annihilated. And there you go. Second M10 with a tank destroyed engine. There you go. For some reason I couldn't select the Tiger all of a sudden, but there you go. Halfway to victory, 339 kills in the service of Germany. And more Pentaforce there for Luciano, but at this point it's not really necessary as such. I mean, he's pretty much broken Overlord, and there you go. Overlord surrenders. A loss here for the 2nd Infantry Division, broken here by the 2nd SS Panzer Division. A brutal fight here with a lot of M10 tank destroyers, machine guns, mines, and whatnot. Brutal fight here. Overall, Overlord, I think, got too stuck on his M10 tank destroyer call-in plan. Didn't quite, I think, at times react sufficiently enough to his opponent. Also got stuck up at times just attacking into the same spot. Initially, again, he was good at sort of shifting attack patterns, but the problem was by sort of the game's half point, they sort of shifted over to the same attack pattern, which made it easier for Luciano to defend against him. Also, like a smoke, despite having a mortar and other elements there, also really did, you know, Overlord a lot of favours. So I think some issues there as the game progressed. Luciano, I think, did well. Could have maybe gone some fuel cache to support push for a faster Tiger there. But overall, I think he did pretty well there. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, you know, subscribe, like, share, and comment on it. This is Imperial Links and Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Cheers.